Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the safe space where we set oppression ablaze. Thank you all so much for joining us. It's 7:30. We doing all right. How's everybody feeling out there tonight? Ladies, let me hear you make some noise. No, I'm kidding. I hope y'all are doing well. We've got I hope a somewhat cohesive, coherent show, although that is me front selling and telling on myself. I had a deeply unfocused day today. And not nothing bad. Everything was copacetic, everything was above board. I just couldn't focus. I could not focus on like what exactly I wanted to talk about because there's so many things percolating that deserve our attention in one way or another. And I'm like, all right, well, let me not do bad news today in terms of, in my stories, everyone is alive, thank goodness. Though for my palate cleanser, threats are made. Threats do get made in my palate cleanser, but the palate cleanser is so amazing. I'm like, I cannot deny you guys this cussing from an African. By the way, y'all, our people from whom we descend from, the most preeminent cursors without uttering a profanity, by the way. Can I say anyway, that's probably like my favorite part of the show. I should actually lead with the palate cleanser since nobody dies tonight in my show. Nobody is maimed, I don't think. So anyway, so here's my unfocused show. Sans very bad, grievous news, okay? So I'm scrolling, and I come across this video. First of all, hold on. No, fuck that. Let me keep going. Thanks, everybody. Do me a favor, like the video. If you have any questions as to whether or not the United States continues to devolve into a Christo fascist state, is it Christo? It's a Crisco. it's a Crisco fascist state. No, Christo fascist, Christian fascist government of which we already reside. And the irony is multi-layered. This has never been one nation under God. This is one nation founded by devils, okay? They threw God in the Constitution for shits and gigs. None of them motherfuckers believed in God. They did not conduct themselves as godly men. They owned, enslaved, captured, R-worded, breeded out, sold as chattel, bequeathed as property, entire humans, multi-generations of humans. There's nothing godly about this country, okay? We know the millions of indigenous people who succumbed to genocide as enacted upon them by the Europeans. So here we are in big 2025, coming up on this stupid country's 250th anniversary of what exactly? Of 250 years of fuckery. Yes, unending fuckery, right? Fuckery with no bounds, with no seeming limits, right? So America keeps pushing on, and yet this country is insistent to tell us and the rest of the world that we are the moral authority, I guess, on everything, which is uh uh an astounding claim if you have any sense of actual morality, right? So parts of this country are very insistent upon making children subscribe and adhere to the 10 commandments, right? The 10 commandments as dictated from God to Moses on the stone tablets, right? And for a long time in this country, guys, I mean, I'm mid 40s. I can recall, and let me be clear here, this is no pining for yesteryear in America, all right? I'm just making an observation in the way that times and the way that we, or at least in the regular discourse I hear around freedom of religion, how that has somewhat shifted, right? And that was a big shift actually post 9/11 because of all the rampant Islamophobia. and anti-Southeast Asian prejudice that came along with that, because these dipshit uh Caucasians, the racist ones anyway, they don't know they Arabs from they Sikhs, from they Southeast Asians. It's crazy times. So I used to hear pre 9/11, everybody has the right to practice their religion as they choose. We shouldn't impose religion in schools, for example. Like, the separation of church and state was something that even I think uh, somewhat moderate conservatives adhere to, right? Along with different types of shit. So, but in the past decade, 15 years or so, we've seen more states, especially red states, especially those in the Bible Belt, pass laws that mandate that the 10 commandments, per the Christian doctrine, be instructed and or posted in schools. I know Oklahoma has done this. I know Louisiana has done this, and they were doing this in Texas. And this clip came across my feed because, these dipshit conservatives are not hard to own, right? If that's the goal, which it absolutely should not be. Though I do feel there is some utility in occasionally holding up the mirror to them. Is like, do you see and hear your stupid ass? do you see and hear your own hypocrisy? But the problem is, you cannot shame the devil. Devil can't be shamed. Devil doesn't give a fuck if they are hypocrites. The devil doesn't care if these devils, let me say it plural, these devils do not care if they contradict themselves, if what they are pushing in terms of morality on others are morals that they themselves do not uphold or adhere to. So check out this clip that was floating around from out of the Texas legislature, where we can only assume that fuckery constantly ensues, right? Big supermajority for the Republicans in Texas. Not that that makes a fucking difference, because we don't trust nor approve of the policies of Democrats by and large, but we know what Republicans are going. We know what kind of time the GOP is going to be on, and they're going to be on that bullshit all the time, but to extreme levels. So, I love the white on white contrast here. It's not a contrast because it's white on white. The white on white sameness, because it's a white man holding up the mirror to this white woman, and all she can do is chuckle and like say, but just vote for the fucking bill. Peter, stop being a dickhead and just vote yes for the bill. So Texas wanted to make sure that the 10 commandments, make it mandatory that the 10 commandments are available and required learning for students in Texas public schools. Let's take a listen to the clip. Start from the very, very beginning, Will. Thank you.
What is the fourth commandment?
Keep the Sabbath.
Part of keeping the Sabbath holy is not working on the Sabbath?
That is, yeah.
What day is the Jewish Sabbath?
It is on Saturday.
And what day is it today?
It is Saturday. Here we are.
The Christian Sabbath is what day?
Sunday, in honor of the day that Jesus rose from the dead.
And we're scheduled to give this bill a final vote on what day of the week?
It's ironic, isn't it?
Would you be willing to postpone your bill so that we're not breaking the 10 Commandments by working on the Jewish or Christian Sabbath?
I love that you said that, because
you're saying that you'd rather tell people to follow the 10 Commandments than follow it yourself?
I would have rather have had this bill passed the other day when it was time.
We as a legislature are about to force every teacher in the state to post the 10 Commandments in their classrooms.
If
Do
they are
members
donated.
of the Texas legislature follow the 10 Commandments?
So again, this bill is about honoring our historical, educational, and judicial heritage with the displaying of the 10 Commandments.
The 9th commandment is thou shalt not bear false witness. Are you aware of any legislators who have lied about anything?
That is, there might be one coming up in a minute. If you keep talking, we'll see.
The 7th commandment is thou shalt not commit adultery.
Yes.
Do you think that members of the legislature should focus more on trying to follow the 10 Commandments rather than telling others to follow them?
Maybe they didn't have them posted. I am, it is incumbent on all of us to follow God's law.
But you don't even know God's law, okay? Sunday is the Christian Sabbath, not because Jesus rose from the dead on Sunday. Christian Sabbath is observed on Sunday because God worked all week, Monday through Saturday, to create the heavens and the earth. And on the seventh day, he rested. That's what Sunday, that's why the Sabbath in Christianity is observed on Sunday, not because Jesus rose from the dead on Sunday, you dumb biatch. Let me tell you something. When are white folks going to get tired of trying to impose their lack of morals on everybody else? This is such again, not the latest state, not the first state to do things like this, but think about how much government sanctioned indoctrination was imposed especially upon oppressed people. I'm thinking of our indigenous brothers and sisters specifically in this instance, right? I'm thinking of the residential schools in which forced Christian doctrine was mandated on Native children to abandon their language, their heritage, their culture. These kids were killed. Okay. I mean, absolutely not funny in the slightest, but I mean, the paradox in which these white Christians with the straightest of faces will try to make sure that the rest of yous know what the 10 commandments are. And it's always big do as I say and not as I do energy, right? And it's so interesting to me that these policies, this imposition of religious doctrine in public spaces like a public school setting that receives taxpayer funds, in which the separation of church and state is supposed to be explicitly clear. Like the conservatives aren't they the ones hands off my Medicare? The government can't tell me what to do. You can't tell me how to live my life. You can't tell me I can't that I can't bear arms. You can't racist. What happened to that energy when it comes to this mandatory posting of the 10 commandments? There is no point in time in the rotten history of this country in which America has ever adhered to the 10 commandments. So why? Why? And can I tell you, I mean, all of this forced indoctrination, I believe it's going to have sort of the opposite effect. You're not going to get a bunch of compliant young folks. I mean, some probably will be brainwashed, but I think you're actually going to end up with a generation of young people who are indeed going to be very resentful of these things being forced upon them, right? They're going to know what they're being taught, and they're going to understand what has been restricted from them. And I know, especially in racist white culture, right? Because I guess we got to make this disclaimer periodically. All whites are not racist. We have some very fine whites joining us tonight. We probably have some very unfine whites joining us tonight too, because I know when I start talking this shit, the trolls tend to come out, and they're these motherfucking MAGA motherfuckers. It's like, hey, sorry, baby, the truth hurts. But to be clear, I know all whites are not racist. We love our white allies, our white comrades, our white friends. And I do not hate white people. I hate racism. I hate white supremacy. I hate the concept of whiteness. I have no objection to white people. Well, white people celebrating their ethnicities, as it were, Irish, Italian, Polish, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? But when it's white pride and white nationalism, we don't like that. We don't go for that shit at all. But when will the whites get tired? When will they tire? Like, for example, I see Trump talking about Ukraine and Putin's gone crazy and so many people are dying in Ukraine, which they are, and it's a tragedy. But he says fuck all about the active genocide happening in Palestine, right? And in fact, he endorses it, he funds it, he approves it, just like his predecessor Joe Biden before him. Like, but America will tell you that we possess, this country alone possesses the moral compass for the world. But if you follow our dollars, what do we fund? We fund nothing but war and death and instruments of war and death. Those are our priorities. And Trump, you know, the devil is a liar, but the devil does tell the truth sometimes. Like, he cuts all this funding for foreign aid, right? So we are not any longer exporting medicine. And again, I know there's many criticisms of US aid and its role in destabilizing countries who have a lot of material need, but also the US has interest in and will undermine their democracies and their governments, etc. They were sending out medicine. Okay, they were giving out vaccinations for malaria and other in things along that nature. Like, some good work was being done through US aid. And now, instead of exporting anything good to benefit humanity, the United States almost exclusively exports death, right? So again, the 10 commandments, bitch, where? Where? And what is this going to do? I think it's going to again continue to embolden this idea that the agenda that's being pushed by the GOP in term, and again, Democrats did this as well, but the heavy mass deportations, the denying of women's bodily autonomy, how a number of states, and I even think there's going to be a push for this at the federal level, but they're trying to make no fault divorce against the law. Like, things that make women's lives in particular more difficult, the things that make non-white people's lives in particular more difficult, and of course making the lives more difficult of folks that decide to be dissidents and speak out against the policies and actions of this country as a whole, historically, and about this administration in particular. So how many people do you think that were sitting in that Texas legislature when that white man asked that white woman, he said, the commandment about thou shalt not commit adultery? You heard kind of a hush fall over the chamber. It's like all of them started sweating like a sex worker in church on Sunday. Okay? Not ready for those conversations. And we're not ready to have, well, actually, we're more than ready. We've seen this time and time again, in particular, where conservative men, even conservative lawmakers, have been caught. For example, what was this I was going to call him all kinds of punk motherfuckers, but I can't call his name. But I think he was from Missouri. I want to say he was from the Midwest. Anyway, the lawmaker, white guy, had a mistress, impregnated her, and forced her to obtain an abortion. Meanwhile, on the record, in his policies, in his bombastic speeches, railed against the evils of abortion. Meanwhile, mandating that his mistress go get one. Where they do that at? What commandment is that? The 12th one? Is that commandment 12? Thou shalt not abort unless it is your side pieces fetus. What's that? I'm going on to my next story. I told you guys, and I'm still kind of discombobulated in my thought process. I don't think I drank enough coffee today. I feel like I'm trying to do battle with a teeny tiny migraine, and my migraines be whooping my ass. So I'm trying to keep this migraine at bay. And I told y'all I had a deeply unfocused show, prepared and not prepared. And I don't know why these particular clips jumped out at me today. I got white folks and a South African in my program, all over the place, all over the place. Let me move along. Do me a favor, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Hey, run some support if you feel up to it. via super chat, we will accept it and take it. You can hit us up via Cash App as well, $ BIDWKB, Venmo at BIDWKB, PayPal.me/BIDWKB, and Patreon.com/BIDWKB. We thank all of our wonderful, wonderful Fire Fam supporters, all of our YouTube channel members, all of our patrons, and shout out to all of our glorious moderators. We thank you all so much for doing the job. I'm sure you guys are doing tremendous work. Tremendous work. I want us to move along. Let's move along to Tennessee. Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee. Tennessee is a wild spot. And I don't like to say that one particular state in this rotten ass colony is worse than the other, because I think every single state in the United States has its own particular brand of evil. Even blue states, especially blue states, well, maybe not especially, but even, yes, blue states too, as I live in one, and I tell y'all all the time that Maryland is not as progressive as advertised. But it does seem that Tennessee is indeed, at least from their makeup of their judicial, not judicial, well, probably the judiciary too, but there's a supermajority in Tennessee, as there is in Texas, where the governor, Senate, and the House are all ran by Republicans. And when I tell you, over the past few years, some of the laws and procedures that they have enacted in the Tennessee legislature have have just been bonkers. And the way that they have targeted and criminalized protests, targeted and criminalized unhoused people, and allowed a neo-Nazi white nationalist element to rise there, I would say, unchecked, right? We've seen, were they marching in Nashville over the weekend? The whites, that is, the racist whites with their faces covered in their US flags. I love the fact that the white nationalists, I love that they cover their faces. It's like, y'all should do the throwback shit and just throw on the hoods like your granddaddies did. Throw on, go ahead, go ask Grandpa Pop if you can pull out his Klan hood with the pointy hat, the tall one. You know what I'm saying? Like Gandalf and shit. Like what's my nigga from Harry Potter? You could tell I'm not a Harry Potter kid, but I've seen all the shits. I can't call the shit. Merlin. No, what's the nigga's name? Oh my God. Don't come for me, millennials. I'm so sorry. It's not Merlin. It's not Gandalf. Oh my God, the children are gonna drag me. Well, you're a millennial. What's that nigga name? What's the wizard nigga name? The old dude, the OG.
The OG. Harry Potter? Dumbledore?
Dumbledore. Thank you so much. I knew you knew. See you, millennial. I know. Listen, even the millennials that wasn't into Harry Potter know all the Harry Potter shit, okay? Because y'all was friends with some Harry Potter dorks, maybe. You know what I'm saying? So even the niggas that wasn't into Harry Potter, by extension, by osmosis, y'all got into Harry Potter. I digress. Let me get off my tangent. But yeah, Dumbledore, nigga, y'all did like Klan. I'm sorry to associate Dumbledore with the Klan, but Dumbledore also had the pointy hat. Maybe not quite the pointy hat, but anyway, I do wish the white nationalists would channel their grandparents and just wear their Klan hoods out in the open. Don't cover your face with the mask, nigga. Go all out with the shit. Be fabulous, nigga. Put that shit on with the patches and shit. Stun on these hoes out here with your Klan shit. What you ever seen the red ones? You ever seen the red Klan outfits? Nigga, them shits look like they are straight out of the actual Empire, right? Like the Empire Strikes Back. The red Klan, I'm like, who is they? Is they the Cardinals? Like, who are these bammers? Anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to get off track. So anyway, back to Tennessee. So we back in Tennessee. So Tennessee, per the rest of America, is out here doing tremendous fuck shit, including in Nashville's famed Broadway. Is it the Broadway district or Broadway? That's the name of the strip. But the main drag where there's the bars and the restaurants and people go to hang out and do shit, I guess. There have been a number of ICE raids within the restaurants and the food service industry, in which hundreds of people have been swept up in these ICE raids. Now, of course, Trump, ICE, and the rest of the maggots insist that only the most violent, the worst criminals, the rapers, the murderers, that these are the people that are being kidnapped by ICE, being detained and summarily deported. But the numbers don't bear that out. Out of the 200 folks that have been recently swept up in ICE raids coming out of Nashville, I think in particular, I'm not sure if these numbers are applicable to Tennessee statewide, but only 5 of them were reported to have actually had active criminal warrants. Everybody else was working, minding a fucking business, many of whom attempting to go through the legal residency or the pathway to citizenship process the quote right way. Okay, but we know under authoritarianism there is no if Das Fuhrer says that this is the policy, this is the way it's going to be, Constitution and following the law be damned. There are plenty of fucking mindless, steroided out goons, racist pieces of shit that are willing to throw away their morality and their adherence to the law in order to please the master, as it were. So anyway, so one of those dipshits is a Tennessee representative by the name of Andy Dickhead. His actual real name is not Andy Dickhead, though his first name is Andy, and his last name I'm comfortable not saying it right because fuck him, he's an asshole. You guys are about to see this. So over the Memorial Day holiday, this Republican congressman, his name is like Andy Ogles. Let's call him Andy Ugly. I like that. Let's stick with Andy Ugly because I keep wanting to call him Oglesby, and that's not his name. So let's call him Andy Ugly. Representative Andy Ugly is a big MAGA. In fact, Representative Andy Ugly has not allowed any town halls since he's been elected to Congress, or at least has not had any this year. He has refused to meet his constituents, right, in person. Over the Memorial Day holiday, he held a press conference at the Tennessee state legislature in which he invited members of the press, but also made sure that members of the independent press were not permitted entry, okay? Which is a problem for a lot of reasons, and we're going to talk about that. But I like these videos for a couple of reasons. First of all, I appreciated seeing the people out in the streets protesting this man's rhetoric because of the raids that have been happening on undocumented people in Nashville. The mayor of Nashville, Freddie O'Connell, spoke up. But that's all he did. Okay. The mayor of Nashville had some words for ICE and for the Trump administration, but that's all he had. He didn't stop any raids. He didn't declare Nashville a sanctuary city and that no raids shall take place under his administration. He didn't do any of that. He just opened his mouth with criticism. And now Representative Andy Ugly wants to have him federally investigated. For what? I'm not sure. Anyway, I wanted to take a look at these videos because the action that happened outside of the Tennessee state legislature, I dug it. I love to see people in the streets. I am glad to see more whites in the streets because that's who really needs to get out in the streets, right? I think that Black folks, people that are pro-Palestine, people that support migrants, I think our presence has been well documented, and our folks have been out there quite a bit. And not to say that there's not some overlap with white folks in the aforementioned groups that I said, but no, we need the whites need to be out there for real. Like that, this is what a facet of what camaraderie and allyship looks like. You get out there, because if the migrant people, or even people who are suspected of being immigrants, if they're out there, they're at risk. Okay. They stand a very good chance of being swept up, detained, deported. Even Black folks, not necessarily deported, but brutalized, arrested, feeling the brunt of the law more acutely than white folks could ever experience it. No, I think that's accurate. We'll stick with that. So anyway, I want to play y'all a couple clips, because Representative Andy Ogles held this press conference. He said horrible things about undocumented people and about migrants. And the people were outside giving him the business, which I like to see. So anyway, well, let's go ahead and run those clips.
Press in! Let the 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 press
You can't go in, sir. You can't go in. You're not on the leash. You can't go in.
You guys are really going to let them do this?
Why
can't come in? Why can't I come in? Why can't I come in?
let the press in!
Why am I the only one not allowed in? Can you just explain it to me?
You're not on the list, sir.
What list?
I don't know. It's on the list.
What list? What list, dude? This is a private palace? What are you doing?
Let the people in! Let the people in! Let the people in! Let the people in!
You think it's funny? You think that's funny? You little Ogles. Look, there's Ogles little wannabe. Come here.
Obey the Fifth Amendment! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like! Show me what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like!
Yeah.
Ogles thin skin! Andy Ogles let us in! Andy Ogles thin skin! Andy Ogles let us in!
A corrupt coward hides from his people. A corrupt coward co-opts a day, this day, Memorial Day, that was meant to remember my fellow soldiers, airmen, Marines, Coast Guardsmen that have died, that have fallen in the line of duty.
For the land of the free!
For the land of the free. This man would co-opt this day to push his message of hate, to push his message of fear.
Come out, wherever you are!
What are you afraid of, Andy? We're your people. Come on, come talk to us.
The people united will never be divided. The people united will never be divided.
Go.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Hey, yo!
Hey, hey! Ho, ho!
Hey,
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Tell me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like. We are Tennessee. We are Tennessee. We are Tennessee. We are Tennessee.
Individuals that the mayor is standing with are murderers, rapists, drug traffickers, sexual predators, child traffickers. The list goes on. Which is why I will always stand on the rule of law and with ICE. And I don't just stand with ICE, I'll stand in front of ICE. Because we, the people, have had enough. I choose my community, my state, and my family over this type of nonsense. Which is why, due to the remarks of Freddie O'Connell and the potential for aiding and abetting illegal immigration, the Homeland Security and the Judiciary Committees will be conducting an investigation into the mayor of Nashville, his conduct, and whether or not federal dollars have been used in criminal enterprise. I will not back down. I will not relent. And I will always stand with law enforcement. I want my community and I want my country back. This is Andy Ogles. Thank you for being here.
I knew I had his name right. Andy Ugly. You know what I said? Andy Ugly. Listen, again, it's horrific rhetoric. Make no mistake about it. And his threats to another white man. just threatening Mayor Freddie any old kind of way. But I love the fact that Representative Andy Ugly made no mention of the U.S. Constitution. What is the Constitution anyway? What is it? Anyone ever heard of it? Can anyone recite anything from the fucking Constitution? We heard Homeland Secretary Kristi Noem absolutely fumble the meaning of habeas corpus. I mean, these motherfuckers don't even be reading the cliff notes on shit before they go sit down in front of committees, like with sworn testimony. Shit is hilarious. But this is an interesting little wrinkle, maybe not so little. Maybe it's a very big deal as elected officials, some anyway, get threatened with these types of actions from, sitting Congress people. But of course, they arrested Newark Mayor Ras Baraka. They have charged, at least to the best of my recent or most, when I last looked at it, the Black woman who's the congressperson from New Jersey, her first name Tiffany, her last name is not McGovern, but it's Mick something. Tiffany is facing like actual charges, like felonies of the assault time, kind, allegedly assaulting a law enforcement officer. That is not a little charge. But Representative Andy Ugly here is proposing that Mayor Freddie be federally investigated. I want to see how this plays out when we talk about white folks, because there is going to be an element of white male privilege that is going to protect this mayor. And that same kind of privilege is not going to be available, I don't think, for the Black elected officials that are facing some charges in connection to their actions trying to tour and or inspect an ICE detention facility, which Mayor Freddie is not accused of doing at all. He's just been accused of having criticism for the callousness and seemingly indiscriminate ways in which ICE is executing these raids against immigrant workers, right? Which, by the way, is the way that this shit, y'all. I mean, I know we're not hearing the stories, maybe not at the same volume that we were hearing them some weeks ago, but they are absolutely still happening, where people are literally being snatched off the street. They're being pulled over in traffic stops. They're being pulled out of their vehicles and immediately whisked off, being detained, not able to call legal representation, not being able to call their families and let them know what has happened to them and what is going on. And that continues to be a very scary prospect. And the thing that concerns me is that I don't want any of us, especially those that are non-white, non-male, non-Christian, even maybe non-conservative, right? Like, the further you are away from the demographic that Donald Trump is, the more precarious your situation can potentially be. And just because your situation is not precarious at this moment doesn't mean that it won't be in the very near future. Because if we don't have more people coming out and saying enough is enough, like these deportations and this indiscriminate way in which people are just being separated from their families, ripped away from their livelihoods and their homes and the lives that they've built for themselves. I don't care if they've been here a year. I don't care if they've been here 30 years. Like, you have a right to be here. Okay. I don't have no more right to this country than somebody who is at the border waiting to come in this country. Like, again, I feel as though the whole nature of borders is so deeply rooted in colonialism. Like, the audacity of any folks telling other folks, any human telling another human, like, you can't come over here because we live over here. Go fuck yourself. What are you talking about? You are not the owner of the land. That's why I love the principles and sort of the mantras of the indigenous people, like the land cannot be owned. Like we all walk and occupy this planet. Nobody can own land. Like I anyway. That's my pie in the sky utopia. that one day we might get back to where this continent was 500 and 600 years ago, where you showed up where the fuck you showed up, right? And so long as you wasn't with no rah-rah, people would get along sometimes, but not in the same way that it was when the colonizers came over here and just declared everything to be theirs. and it's like, what? No, that's not how this works at all. So anyway, I want to see if Mayor Freddie gets the same treatment as Mayor Baraka. Okay. And shout out to our folks that have speculation about whether or not Ras Baraka's arrest was legitimate or not. I do believe the representative Congresswoman Tiffany's arrest was absolutely they are absolutely going to move forward in attempting to prosecute her. But I'd be curious to see how this plays out for Mayor Freddie, though I don't think he's going to get the same type of Negro treatment. Why would he? But this guy Andy Ugly is pretty interesting because he's really in the mold of Trump himself. Like, he has a number of accusations surrounding campaign financing. There's some accusations that he has lied on his resume, that he has, overinflated his credentials, maybe some stolen valor mixed in there. But there he is as a sitting congressperson representing the great state of Tennessee. And I don't know what it's going to take to sort of dislodge some of these super majorities, especially some of these conservative super majorities, from states in which the interest of the people, Tennessee, much love, does not strike me as a wealthy state, right? Like it strikes me as a very much a working class and poor state, right? Even the whites situation doesn't strike me as all that great in Tennessee. So why in the fuck do they keep electing people that don't look out for their interests, that are trying to strip Tennessee public schools of funding and redirect that monies back to private schools, parochial schools, denying women abortions, refusing to raise the minimum wage? Oh yeah, by the way, real quick to Representative Andy Ugly's comments surrounding who Mayor Freddie is standing with, the rapers and the child molesters and this, that, and the third. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation was found to have let hundreds, if not thousands, of untested rape kits languish in the state lab, right? So how would Representative Andy Ugly have any concept of or make the accusation that non-Americans are somehow committing sexual assault at specifically higher rates than what? Tennesseans, then higher rates than what? Americans? Well, maybe if y'all actually tested the rape kits, you'd find some of the rapists. and you might be surprised as to who they are. I saw a story pertaining, and not a story as it were, but I did see a video where a young woman from Johnson City, Tennessee, in particular, I'm actually very interested in this. She claims that the police where they live in Johnson City have had hundreds of rape accusations not pursued, not moved forward upon, right? So my point is this, like, to hear these morally bankrupt Republicans in particular, and for equity's sake, it's fuck the Democrats as well, but for these Republicans in particular, to wag their finger and talk about how much they want to protect the community from the scourge of immigrants, they never seem to have a problem harboring the sex offenders, the rapists, the child molesters that were born on this soil, that are hiding in plain sight in their own communities. They don't want to fund the testing of the rape kits to discover who these people actually are. So there is no true concern about so-called crimes being committed by people who are not from this country, right? Because they could give two shits about the local rapist, the homegrown chomo, right? You know, that's the price of liberty, I suppose, for rape victims and survivors of childhood sex abuse, right? That's the price of liberty. You know what I'm saying? That's the shit you just got to deal with. But don't let any non-American, or rather I should say non-white sex offenders be here at all, because they got to jump on that. Can I tell you guys a story? I'm probably going to bring y'all this story on Tuesday because I just saw it today. But let me tell you how not on top of shit ICE is, and fucking the Commonwealth of Virginia. So there was a man who has been facing charges, who's been awaiting trial since 2020. I believe he is a Sudan national. I'm going to talk about the story on Tuesday. But I just want to tell y'all this real quick, and we'll get all flesh out the details next week. But long story short, this gentleman is facing murder charges in connection with strangling his girlfriend in Northern Virginia. He was being held without bond. And I want to know where this guy got his money from, because he's got some great lawyers. His lawyers argued to grant him bond and to have him on GPS monitoring. These things were eventually granted to him. We're 5 years on from when he was charged with murdering his girlfriend. The trial is set to start, and the Commonwealth of Virginia decides to let this guy off of GPS monitoring. And guess what happened? Would you like to take a guess as to what happened to the accused murderer? Oh, they think he went to Canada. They think he went to Canada. Now, let me tell you guys something. Outside of courtrooms, courthouses across this country, ICE agents and Homeland Security agents are waiting for people who are going to their scheduled legal asylum hearings, to their residency hearings, to their green card hearing, to all the pathways, legal pathways of citizenship that people who have come to this country are showing up for, trying to adhere to the rules and regulations and to the law. And Homeland Security and ICE are picking up these people and detaining them and deporting them. But the murderer, accused, alleged murderer, he gets to get off of GPS surveillance and now has fled the country. Way to go, ICE. Way to go, Homeland Security. I appreciate y'all being on top of this kinds of shit. Thank you for letting an alleged murderer out in the world. Meanwhile, you're waiting for the domestic workers. You're waiting for the cooks in the kitchens. You're raiding those people who are at work and not accused of shit. But the people who are accused of heinous things, you seem to let those people slide through the cracks. That's just an observation. I am going to go because I think my migraine is starting to turn up just a tad under these lights. And as you guys can tell, this show has kind of been a little scattered, and I'm sorry. And I appreciate y'all being here in spite of the scatter chatter. But I do want to leave y'all with what I enjoyed quite a bit. And again, apologies in advance, because I don't know who this man is. This was a repost that showed up on my feed, and I said, I love this. So my guy is part of the Economic Freedom Fighters, right? The EFF from South Africa. It's weird. TikTok knows geographically in the world where my interest is that week. Last week, it was giving me everything Jamaica. I was in Jamaica. Okay. I was on top of things in Jamaica. This week, they're sending me to South Africa, the algorithm that is. And in the in the wake of the South African president visiting the White House to be utterly humiliated, I suppose. I don't know what Mr. Ramaphosa was up there doing. I don't know. Kamal K. Franklin called it polite cooning. I don't have any disagreements with that assessment. That seems to be about accurate. But the president of South Africa got a tremendous amount of criticism when he came home. Okay. and the EFF has been on his ass. Mr. Molina, I'm sorry, Mr. Molina has been digging in his hind parts. Now, we are not about to hear from Mr. Molina in this clip. This person is part of the EFF. He's in the uniform. Okay. He's got the red hat. Well, it's not a bill on this hat, but it's he got the red hat. And I follow EFF, which is on TikTok. So that's interesting. So anyway, this gentleman was railing against a Black American, Michael. I don't know what Michael he's referring to, but what I tell you, this man, this South African man, cussed Michael, cussed him without uttering a single profanity. I said, sir, how can I learn your ways? How can I learn this type of verbal judo? I need to know this because my guy, he's coming through with the exasperation. So let me try to preface this for a bit if I could. So apparently this gentleman was doing a live on TikTok. TikTok snatched the live, right? And told him he was on timeout for a couple days. And when and for people that don't know how Black folks are literally across the diaspora, when a Black person lets out an exhale, a sigh, that means they about to go in. when there is an audible exhale of air, it's like, nigga, I'm about to get loose on your ass. Let me make sure my breath work is up to snuff here before I go all the way in. This man is about to utter threats. That's all I can. That's all. These are threats. These are threats. Threats. Okay, but these are amazing. All right, I'm gonna shut up. So again, I don't know this man's name. Okay, so don't ask me for details. We are focusing on the non-profane cussing and the skill of the cussing. So shout out to all the people from the continent, because only continental Africans can break your ass down like this. We'll go ahead and run that.
Guys, you see what happened? The life was cut off. And they say we suspend you till tomorrow, till on the 26th. Yeah, I understand now. These are things that they will be doing to us always. Because we speak about the evil deed. But we will still believe in, my brother. You cannot stop a man who is destined to free his peoples. Because I'm speaking about American government. Because I'm speaking about Michael. There are Americans watching there. There are Michael family watching. There are peoples watching who don't want to see me. So they will keep on reporting the life. My brother, if anybody don't want to see Pan America fighting for Africa, unalive me. UN, unalive me if you don't want to see me speaking about Africa. Yes, send me to Ali Grave. Americans, if you don't want to see me speaking about your government, the evil deed of your government, send me to Ali Grave. That will be the only time I will be silenced. Apart from that, you can't silence me now. You can't do nothing. You can't even do nothing. In fact, America can't do nothing. UK can't do nothing. European Union can't do nothing. You can't do nothing to me. I will still fight till the end of my the last drop of my blood. Yes, we will not allow a black fool who is sitting in America, who his great-grandfathers were raped and maltreated. And this is this same America. We will not allow that black fool to grow up and started against leaders who are trying to liberate Africa. We will not allow it. I tell you. And if Michael, who is a general who is speaking rubbish anyhow to Africa, if Michael thinks he is an army general, enough. He is a general, enough. Let him go to Africa. I will promise Michael of that on this media. I am saying, I'm publishing, after this I will publish this video. I will say this, and I can repeat it anywhere. If Michael think he is general enough to talk to Africa anyhow, let him go to Africa. I will promise you that, Michael, you will not come back alive. Because I will do everything to make sure that you don't go back to America alive. Yes, that's where we stand now. We are not going to say, no, this is a threatening words to someone. How many times they are threatening us? How many times they don't even threaten us? How many innocent people do they own alive in Africa? Huh? So when we talk to you people, you say, no, they are threatening me. We are not threatening. This is what I will do. Michael, if you think you are a man enough the way you talk rubbish to Ibrahim Traoré, go to Africa. Any African country of your choice, go. I will make sure, I will follow you down there. You will not leave that country alive. Don't go and hide beside that country government. No, live there. Because you are a general. Don't go with anybody guy. And let us see if you, Michael, will come out in Africa alive. You will not live to tell the story. I told you Barack Obama did the same thing to unalive Mohammed Gaddafi and live to tell the story. Because we were not there. This time around, nobody will attempt anything on Ibrahim Traoré and live to tell the story. Nobody. And if you think, Michael, you are general enough, you can do what you like, you are a man enough to do what you like, go to Africa. I promise you that from my heart, you will never go back to America alive. I will do everything in my power. I will make sure I do everything, even it will be the last thing that I will do before I will die. But I will make sure, Michael, you don't go back to America alive. Don't go with bodyguard, because you are a general, you don't need bodyguard. Yes. Don't go and hide behind government war. No. Go to any African country of your choice and make a video and publish it and say, I am in this African country. Let me see the video. Let me be aware that you are in any African country, Michael. You will not go to America alive. Do I care? Go to America. Sue me to court. Tell them that I am threatening you, that I want to unalive you. And I can go to any court and testify that, yes, I am the one who said it. If I have any chance to unalive you, Michael, I will do it. And if I hear that you are in any African country, believe me, my brother, I will make sure that I personally will make sure to do everything to make sure that you are not alive. People like you, black man like you, should not be alive now. Because you are a threat. The same America who raped your great-grandmothers. The same America who raped even your mother, Michael. Your own mother. Not you, Michael, who have been accused of rape. And the same America who even destabilized your own mother. Michael, what happened to your father, Michael? Huh? In 1970, what happened to your father? The same America, what do they do to your father? Your father who is alive now. Because he is a black man. So Michael, that same America you are defending. You want to be popular, Michael, right? We will make you popular, but we will dig our fingers into your ass. Yes. You want to be popular. You want to make America proud. Black man want to make a white man country proud of him. What a black fool. A black man. You want to make America to be proud of you, but you don't want your fellow black to be proud of you. Michael, go and tell your father I said we will unalive you if anytime you have the chance. Anybody who came across Ibrahim Traoré, we will cross you down. No doubt about that. If we have the chance by any means, we will cross you down. Because those black people you are paying in France to go and do demonstration, we will get them now. We are together now. We are with them here. So people who go out to do that demonstration in France, we recognize them. If we see you anywhere, you are in trouble. That's how we have to do now. Our own fellow blacks who are traitors among us, we will deal with them now. Come on. Why a black man is fighting against black man, if not the stupidity of black man? Without knowing this, that peoples who you are trying to defend, same peoples can rape your grandmother. Same peoples maltreat your great-grandfathers. Same people enslave you and still using you as a slave. So one man wake up and say this slavery is enough. We are not going to become slaves to the West anymore. Same black people, stupidity, they are fighting that their fellow black man for white man country. This same Michael was sent to Afghanistan to make an unalive lot of tourists there. This same Michael. If I am lying, Michael know what I am saying. This same Michael was sent by US Army to Afghanistan to do the same rubbish he want to do in Burkina Faso. But you do it in Afghanistan and go back to America. Go to Burkina Faso and let me see if you will go back to America. We will send you to early grave and your dead body, Americans will not see it because we will burn you. I am the one who is promising you that your dead body will not be seen. We will burn you, Michael, alive and send the video to American government to watch you. I swear. Let the American government understand this, that the statement that Michael make, if Michael is missing, we are behind. People will say, oh, my brother, you are putting yourself in trouble. Oh, let me be in trouble. It's not anybody's trouble, it's my trouble. I am used to trouble. If I don't have trouble, I am not comfortable. So I am used to it. US Army, if Michael is missing, we are behind. And we will burn him alive. Yes. Let them say, I'm putting myself in trouble, I accept. Yes, let the trouble come. And I will deal with the trouble. This is a message to Michael and to your father and your mother, because they are black peoples. Let them understand this, that we don't take nonsense from nobody who want to mess up with Africa.
Yo, not an expletive uttered, not a profane word was said, but yet a cussing was dispensed. And my guy, he exhaled when he began. Let me tell you something. This how I know I'm African. You know what I'm saying? Contrary. Contrary. Yo, there's so many things that I united with in terms of the energy. When my guy exhaled before he began, and you saw he also closed with a deep exhale, but he also chuckled before he began. He said, oh my God. And chat, again, y'all are smarter than me. I think I made the assumption that this guy was EFF and from South Africa. Maybe he is Burkina. Maybe he is from Burkina Faso. So the more learned amongst us, by all means, speak up. Make your knowledge known. Who is this gentleman? And who is Michael? He has cussed Michael. He has referenced Michael's mother and father. He said, Michael, this is for you and your mother and your father. Africa, we do not take nonsense from nobody. Oh my God, I just love the energy. And letting Michael know. Again, y'all, this is how black people, we are the same. The diaspora, it is the same fucking energy. You know what I'm saying? When my guy said, you cannot be coming talking rubbish to us anyhow. Like, in America, we say, nigga, you cannot be popping that kind of shit. You cannot come talk rubbish anyhow. And the African brother, you better not come to the continent, Michael. If we find you on this continent, you will not return back to America. What do black people in America say? Don't let me catch you around here. And don't let me catch you around my fucking way, dog. It's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. And then my guy came with the shit talking. Let him know. He said, U.S. Army. If Michael is missing, we have him. If for some reason y'all cannot find Michael, he is with us. And he is not being treated well. Who is this Michael? Who is he talking about? Who is he talking about? Maybe Michael is a TikTok personality. Maybe he is a former I have no idea, but I am now super interested in finding out who. Because let me tell you something. If I'm being cussed by African like that, nigga, I have to get to the bottom of this. Like, what can I do to make amends? And I guess Michael does not strike me as the kind of quote unquote brother that might be interested in making amends with a brother that we just saw in the video. But my God, like, I wouldn't go to Africa if I was Mike Allen. Like, I wouldn't post. You know what I'm saying? Mike Allen might go to Africa and then post on his return flight home, right? Don't go over to Africa and let old boy know where you at, because he's coming to get you. I believe him. And that's the other thing about Black folks across the diaspora. Like, if somebody talk to you like that and make and detail the threats, like, let you know, I will, here's how, and here's what can be done about it. Nothing. I suggest you maybe take that person seriously. Again, what did they say? By the time that the thought of an action has left your mouth, by the time you have spake it aloud, you've already thought about it quite a bit, right? Like, by the time you actually speak it into the universe, you've thought about it quite a bit. This guy has had plans for Michael. Like, this was not his first plan to perhaps do harm to Michael. And just for the algorithm, for the fucking Google YouTube sphere, we do not agree or condone threats of violence. I guess. Let me not say that, because I need to find out who Michael is first. we might condone and we might agree. But I wanted to share that with y'all because I have watched that specific video. I think I've watched it 5 times. And every time I watch it, I'm so impressed. I'm so genuinely convinced that this man means what he says. And I appreciate, again, the sentiment. I believe he's referencing Captain Traore, right? And the Africans, like, I follow a lot of Black folks, a lot of folks on the continent on TikTok, and from from Ghana to South Africa to Uganda to, like, a lot of everywhere on the continent, everybody is about Captain Traore. Everyone is ready to ride for him. And that is the energy. And I want us Black folks in America to have that same energy. And if you're not familiar with what Ibrahim Traore is doing in Burkina Faso, he's doing great things. Like, he's nationalizing the resources. He is kicking out the colonizers. He's bringing more folks over to his side. Like I said, there was a coup in the Ivory Coast, in Cote d'Ivoire, with some of the alleged coups perhaps being trained and influenced by what happened in Burkina Faso. So the continent is doing tremendous things, and I love this energy, and I want to see more energy like this. And if it's got to be this kind of energy, calling out coons, which, by the way, you know, we support here on this platform. We are an anti-coon. this is an anti-coon channel. All Black folks that are your skin folks are not your kin folks. There are lots of Black people right now, present day and historically, that have sold out our interests, that have sold out movements. And those people must be called out. They must be exposed. They must be humiliated. They must be isolated. They must be excommunicated from our communities, and we got to know who they are. So once y'all find out who Mike Hall is, drop it in the comments, please and thank you. And gang, that is my program for tonight. Now, here's the deal. Thursday, come hang out with the Ear Doctor and myself for Classical Breakdown. We're going to be doing the Lovers Rock Crooners, indeed. The Gregory Isaacs, the Beres Hammond, the Wayne Wonder, It's going to be great. So that is 11 a.m. on Thursday. Friday, the Black Radical Leadership Conference is happening in Indianapolis. I am going. I will be in attendance. So I'm going to be there. So here's the thing. And my goal is to do the show live from the conference. Now, I'm going to just be talking to people, I won't be streaming any of the panels. You can find that on Black Liberation Media. Certainly encourage you to subscribe to Black Liberation Media if you're not already subscribed. But if you are going to be at the conference, be looking for me around 7 o'clock Eastern, because I'd like to talk to whoever is there. I want to know what brought you there. What do you hope to gain from attending this conference? Are you an organizer? Do you plan to be? What are your thoughts around organizing? So if you want to be interviewed by me on Friday, 7 p.m. at the leadership conference, be looking for me. I won't be hard to find. I'm gonna be somewhere in my stunner shades. So I'll be there, and I hope to see you there. Whoever's going out there, please safe travels. If you are going to Indianapolis this weekend. And I don't think I have anything else to add. So I want y'all to be easy. Thank you so much, as always, to Will and Molly. Thank you so much to our wonderful mods. If you haven't liked the video on your way out the door, please kindly do so. We are at 7,500 blah, blah, blah subs. So we're moving on up slowly but surely. So please give us a sub if you haven't already. And thanks again. We appreciate y'all's support. See you on Friday. See y'all later. Bye-bye.